Welcome, angry faithful, to the Friday What the Hell, where we're on YouTube and X. So it's not going to be that graphic. Wednesday show. That's pretty graphic. It gets weird there. But yeah, Bill, we had some funny news. And we had some great news. We'll go over the great news today on the Nancy Pelosi's going out of office. She's retiring finally. She's finally getting out of office. It's so great. So great. How long was her tenure? What, like 50 years?
Twice that, I think.
No, she's not a vampire, dude. Although she does.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I don't know. Anyways, yes, she's out. I'm not going to list all of her achievements or all of the horrible things that she's done. I'm just glad she's out.
Well, I wasn't ready for this one, but are you ready? Do you have the clip of what Trump said about her? He would not wish her a happy birthday.
Oh, I don't care.
You didn't see the clip?
I honestly, it's to the point to where I'm happy that she is leaving. Top of the story that we're going to cover today is the test for the CDL drivers that are illegal aliens. That's right. I didn't use undocumented citizens. They're illegal aliens, which it's kind of funny because who's that old CNN host that's Don Lemon? Don Lemon went on the when to do a guy on the street type stuff, and he's interviewing people, and he interviewed this woman, and he was like, yeah, what are your thoughts on undocumented people? You mean illegal aliens? They're here illegally. They're here illegally. And he was like, no. He was trying to fight it. And her husband comes up and he's like, even though you said they are just doing, it's just a misdemeanor, that they should have rights. No, they're illegal. Enough said. It's literally a stamp. And I had a conversation this week, and I was trying to. People were wondering why that the sanctuary cities and everything were. You see most of the raids. I was like, well, there's a reason. The reason. Bill, are you messing with stuff again?
Maybe.
Bill, don't.
I don't know why it did that.
We agreed you don't touch stuff when we're on the show. We're not professionals here, but we try.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine, but I had a big echo from me.
You're not supposed to hear me right now because you're going to hear me when I do this.
Move away from the mic then. There we go. Anyways, back to the story. What is happening is people are wondering why it's only in like sanctuary cities that have that kind of problem. Well, this is what's happening in those cities. What's happening in those cities is what's supposed to happen is if you have an illegal alien, they're caught doing some crime and everything like that. The city jail or sheriff's department in our town, our sheriff's department contacts ICE or Border Patrol, and they come pick that person up because there's no raids or anything. The person's getting already arrested, and they transfer the individual to ICE, which is really really good about that is the fact that that person isn't part of our judicial system anymore. He's put into federal, and they take him away. So they don't have to worry about him anymore. saying that what happens in these sanctuary cities is shitties.
Yeah, I was like, I
Shitty.
was like, you purposely did that. That's correct, and then you changed.
Yeah, I misspoke that, but it's sanctuary shitties. Anyways, that's a new thing for the show.
Like new
And-
scum.
Yeah. What's happening with them is they're released, and the ICE agents and Border Patrol has to go pick them up. Usually just the ICE agents, and that's why you have all these raids and everything. And it's caught on camera. Wait, it's political theater, in my opinion. That's all it really is. It shouldn't really happen. But you have these people that believe they're doing the right thing and they're not, and they're part of the political banter. And it's, in my opinion, it's just theater. And they came out and said it that they want the immigrants so they could vote Democrat for the next elections. So they have them on their side because they're not doing well. I mean, they're doing decent in major cities, except for Dallas. Dallas changed the mayor of Dallas changed his thing from Democrat to Republican. Now he's a Republican because he's a person for the people. He's a person that wants law and order. He wants, and he even said, "It's like I still want liberal ideology when I'm doing my mayoral stuff, but in all reality, the stuff that the Democrats believe now, I'm not for." And a lot of people are doing that. Now, for the main topic, we've had a lot of violent, and yes, I'm using that word to get my point across, violent car crashes by illegal aliens that are given CDL license, driver's license by California. And yes, they come back from California, and some of them are New York, just not to push down everything. But what is happening is this. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. This is Arizona that this happened at. And this is their, come on, play. There we go. Let's do it this way.
The Trump administration is serious about these roadside English proficiency tests. It just withheld $40 million in funding for California, saying the state is the only one knowingly not enforcing a requirement that commercial truck drivers can speak and read English. Arizona's family has learned 274 commercial truck drivers in Arizona have been pulled off the road since June for failing those roadside proficiency tests. The Department of Transportation says they want to make sure truck drivers are able to read road signs and can communicate with law enforcement. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the exams are needed, pointing to an incident that happened in August in Florida, where a commercial truck driver made an illegal U-turn on the freeway, resulting in the death of 3 people. That driver was an Indian national who was in the country illegally but still obtained a commercial driver's license in Washington State and California. While the Transportation Department says roadside tests are needed, analysts say there's actually no correlation between English proficiency and accidents involved.
Okay. Now, what's hilarious about this situation, why I find it funny, is the English test. I've seen it. There's a compilation. I'm not going to bring it up. Look it for yourself. Look up driving reading. I can't even. This is how stupid I am. Reading proficiency in for English. And you know what they're using? Children ABC books. Yeah. It's so adorable. It's so funny. But yeah, they're using children's ABC books to verify the driver can read English. And some of them, they have like laptops where they just put up and it's like, hey, can you tell me what this sign is? Can you tell me what that sign is? And sometimes they do it. Sometimes they can't do it. But it's all depending on what happens after that. After that, they see they have a license. They revoke it right then. They arrest that person, and guess what? They go to ICE. Anyways,
Why don't they just give them a subscription to Babbel?
Bill, we need them off the road because apparently they don't know how to drive.
And California doesn't care enough that they know English anyway, so it's not like Newsom would subsidize it. He's too busy spending money trying to get Texas.
What do you mean by that?
Proposition 50.
Oh, yeah, they're saying it was a big win. I'm like, really? It's not a big win for the people that actually vote.
Well, what's funny is the polls in California showed 92% of the people wanted a nonpartisan commission. Only 7% of the people wanted the party in power. Yet it won because 82% of the people said they wanted to counter the GOP.
And from what I got, CNN did a thing to where they're like, that was the fastest vote we've seen in forever. And good news, and we talked about this on Wednesday, all the props for Texas passed. So if you're on Social Security, you don't have to property tax anymore, which is great. I mean, I've talked to several people that own houses. I rent, so it doesn't. Hopefully it affects me, but I doubt it. But what's great about that is people that actually are retired, they don't have to. They own their own home right out usually, so they don't have to. They don't have to pay anything. They just have to worry about living their best life, which God bless it, because that's how it should be. If you get at that age where you're retired, you shouldn't have to worry about anything. But anyways, another thing that's happening here, we're at the longest running on the shutdown. Here's a couple of things that okay. Catherine Levy unveiled terrifying news for Chuck Schumer. Their own unions had turned on the Democrats. Our nation's fourth largest airlines, United, Delta, American, Southwest, have all endorsed the Republican nonpartisan clean funding bill to end the government shutdown. And I'll get into all that. Major unions collectively represented tens of thousands of pilots have all joined the airlines in calling the Democrats to pass the clean, nonpartisan CR. What is CR again?
Continuing resolution.
Continuing resolution. Thank you, Bill. The article didn't have it on there. This travel industry is imploding Democrats to the end of shutdown and reopen the government. Nearly 500 companies and groups in the travel business, including casinos, hotels, convention bureaus, signed a public letter warning that American travel economics is already losing $4 billion due to the Democratic shutdown. And they have called for the Republican CR to be passed, saying Americans expect and deserve a full functional federal government during the peak holiday travel season. Never before have we seen private industries and union leadership so unified on the same issue, railing behind Republicans in such a vocal way. The Democrats have completely lost the plot.
But all of that is irrelevant.
Yeah, it really is. We're losing money. Unions are losing money. It's just
Well, I mean, it's irrelevant on how the public is going to look at it and how the Democrats are going to react to it. About 3 hours ago, Schumer came out and they did a breaking news, and he came out and made his little announcement. Here's my counter proposal. You extend the Obamacare subsidies till the end of September, and we'll create a commission of both parties to look into it. But we'll work on it. You just stand to the end of December. So now if you don't vote for it because that's all that's in there, then you're at fault for shutting it down. Well, that's a bunch of fucking BS. No way in hell. Basically, every Republican senator looked at it and said, no way in hell. All they're trying to do is, one, keep throwing money at it. Where's the money going? Straight into the insurance company's pockets. Mm-hmm. That's it. So they're not fixing it, but he's extending it to the end of September. Why? Well, yeah, October starts a new fiscal year, but then they can do it all over right before the election. Yeah. Then they can do the shutdown over again for the same thing because they will not have fixed it.
Yeah. And
they got to blow it up.
I understand where you're coming from, Bill, but I still don't believe the nuclear option is the best option. Getting rid of the filibuster, it's going to bite. It's going to bite.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because they're going to do it. They've already said they're going to do it. They've been saying they're going to do it. Elizabeth Warren said they're going to do it. And the thing they're going to do it for is, let's see, in 2021, 2 Democrat senators stopped it. Kirsten Sinema and Manchin. Well, they forced them out. They're not there anymore. They're going to blow it up. And last time, here's what they were going to get past with it. Senator Jeff Merkley proposed eliminating it for the Voting Rights Act, calling it essential for democracy. And that was 2021. Elizabeth Warren wanted full abolition, said filibuster blocks justice and fairness. And then Cory Booker, he backed carve-outs for voting and reproductive rights. Now, one of the biggest ones is, I think I've mentioned it here before, H.R. 1. Mm-hmm. H.R. 1 that was a Pelosi thing that they tried to pass, and they would have. And H.R. 1 completely forbids any state from asking for voter ID. It makes drop boxes mandatory. It's basically, they would win forever. And in 2021, several of the senators signed letters demanding for the abolishment of the filibuster so they could pass H.R. 1. So it doesn't matter what the fuck's going on. They're not stopping. They're too desperate. We blow it up or not, they're going to if they get in power. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And there's a good video to play on that. I can put it on.
Hold on, Bill, because you're jumping the shark again. This is also with the government shutdown. And yes, I'm using the Chinese app.
Happened this week. The State Department fired all 30 full-time staff at the Global Engagement Center, eliminated all 50 full-time staff positions, and delivered a notice to Congress ending the entire capacity's existence and $65 million in funding, made possible by Secretary Rubio and Undersecretary Beatty. And the way it was structured is as a reduction in force, which is called a RIF. In a company, when you're concerned that if you fire someone, they'll do some BS labor law thing, oftentimes things are structured as a layoff. That way, you can't be slowed down by the bureaucratic maneuverings of lawyers. And that's what they did here. This is a huge thing. If you guys remember, there was a continuing resolution for the U.S. government budget in November 2024, right after the presidential election. And there was a big dogfight where they tried to reauthorize this censorship center out of the Global Engagement Center. And it became such a scandal, and Elon became so motivated over it, that they threatened to primary any Republican who voted for that continuing resolution, in large part because it maintained the reauthorization of the Global Engagement Center, which was the censorship center of the State Department. That was so inflammatory on its face that we literally killed the entire U.S. budget over it. And then, because without reauthorization, it died by sunset, the Biden administration, as one of their last acts, they said, okay, can't call it the Global Engagement Center anymore. We're going to keep all the staff, though, and keep the function, and call it RFEMI, Foreign Influence, Malign Influence, tucked under the public relations, public diplomacy side of state, which is called R, hence RFEMI. And so it fell to the Undersecretary of Public Relations, Public Diplomacy to secure the buy-in of the Trump administration, of Secretary Rubio, to pursue this insane censorship cell's remnant, an entire spider web of censorship institutions here and around the world. There were lawsuits launched against this network because the Global Engagement Center was funding places like the Global Disinformation Index, which was creating advertiser blacklists of what kind of U.S. news would not be allowed to get advertising revenue. So the State Department was effectively picking winners and losers in the private news industry. For example, one Global Engagement Center funded group, the London-based Global Disinformation Index, compiled blacklists of media outlets to feed to advertisers, essentially a form of financial warfare against disfavored outlets. The top 10 outlets on its disinformation list were all on the right. They love NPR, they love AP, New York Times, Washington Post, BuzzFeed, but the ones to kill the advertiser revenue: New York Post, Reason, Real Clear Politics, Daily Wire, The Blaze, OAN, Amcon, Federalist, Newsmax. This is the State Department picking winners and losers in the economics of the news industry. A little bit more on the history of this place because I think it's important. It's truly an incredible story in terms of mission creep. I talk about this a lot, the Office of War Information. The marriage of the military and the media goes back to the Office of War Information in 1942, which crystallized the relationship between War Department propaganda and mainstream media distribution. The Office of War Information, which built the War Department's distribution network with mainstream media, and you can see why they did this. We were fighting World War II, the war to end all wars, and media is a tool of soft power projections. And so media gets wrapped up into the war effort. Problem is, it never got unwrapped after the war. It only deepened as we fought the Cold War. So the Office of War Information built this distribution network, and then that turned into, effectively, it begot the U.S. Information Agency, which was not dissolved until 1999, which only existed for 45 years, just like the Global Engagement Center only lasted for 14 years. It's not like the War Department, which is now our Defense Department / Pentagon, which existed since moment one. The War Department, the State Department, and the Treasury Department were the three departments that were created on day one of this country. They've been around since 1789. But the U.S. Information Agency was a formal information control mechanism in the U.S. government devoted to propaganda, which operated from 1953 to 1999. Previously existing U.S. information posts operating out of U.S. embassies, so it was always a State Department function. Embassies are the State Department. Worldwide, since World War II, became field operations offices of the U.S. Information Agency. In 1999, prior to the reorganization of the intelligence agencies by President George W. Bush, President Clinton assigned U.S. Information Agency's cultural exchange and non-broadcasting intelligence functions to the newly created Under-Secretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs at the U.S. State Department. This is Darren Beatty's role. They did away with the U.S. Information Agency, and it turned into a new role in 1999 called the State Department Public Diplomacy Bureau, which later created GEC, the Global Engagement Center. So understand, the State Department Public Diplomacy Bureau is effectively the State Department's continuation of the U.S. Information Agency. So you have this lineage from Cold War propaganda to GWAT era propaganda to Trump era propaganda. So basically control over the information space to stop communism, to stop terrorism, and then to stop Trumpism. That's the evolution of the State Department office.
Okay. There we go. Can you hear me?
What?
Can you? Can you not hear me?
What?
Are you joking around, or don't joke around about that when we're doing the podcast, Bill?
You do look fuzzy though.
And
Seriously, I don't know if you leaned and your camera has adjusted or.
yeah, it's adjusting. Yeah. So during that, they found that during the shutdown, and they're working on getting rid of it, which is kind of it's hilarious because it's a censor program, and yes, it was developed when we had wartime, and it should have been gotten rid of after we had wartime. That's probably that's the main reason why during like Vietnam, reporters figured out, oh, we have a lot of power here to do this stuff, and they ended up. Some of the good reporting was good. Some of it was horrible, like it is now.
So they found that during the shutdown. They just now found that link.
Yeah. Well, Elon Musk found it prior in 2024 when he was doing his a little bit of investigation, and that's the reason why.
You know, all their investigations through the Biden administration, and they said, oh, Republicans hadn't found anything. See, Republicans hadn't found, there's no proof. Well, that's because the bastards were burying it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they buried. If the Democrats win again, you know, a lot of this stuff they're finding, the Arctic frost, they're finding files in burn bags that Democrats just didn't get to in time to destroy. Back rooms where it was saved. The Democrats win this time. All of that stops. They then control that information again. No investigations.
Well, hopefully
It'll be 2 years of get Trump.
Well, yeah. Which a lot of the reporting on like CNN and everything, the only one that's like big time reporting against everything. They're not actually reporting the news, they're just reporting the Democratic victories and how horrible the Republicans are. Is it MS now? It's not MSNBC.
I don't think it's officially changed yet. I don't think. But I did see a movie. I did see a documentary yesterday. I went ahead and watched it. It is available on Amazon Prime.
My movie wasn't supposed to be a documentary. Yeah, we were talking about that Wednesday. How escape. We were talking about how movies weren't supposed to be prophesized. Because that's what
I actually wasted. I don't watch movies anymore most of the time because I'm just solid news. It's like if I was a junkie and liked needles and there was a way to take the news and plug it into my arm. I don't like needles. I'd never do that. But if there was, I would just feed the news straight in. But a couple of nights ago, I pulled it up on Amazon Prime on my phone and I ended up watching the whole damn thing.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's still a good movie. Did you know? Here's a little tidbit trivia. That is his favorite movie he ever made, and Snake Plissken is his favorite character Kurt Russell ever played.
Yeah, that's the reason why he did a part 2. That was the only reason why he loved that character so much.
And I didn't go for part 2. It was decent.
Part 2 was good. I liked it. But yeah, and going into the health care, what people were talking about, the reason why they're stopping the government right now, people are asking, hey, why don't we just do universal health care? I got a video for that, and this is really interesting. And we'll get more into it because you were talking about the drug stuff. This is
until you're too sick. What happens when you're too sick? You don't want to say it. You don't want to admit it.
They get treated, obviously. It's universal healthcare.
This is your filter. Your filter is the filter is strong in this one. Once you are too sick, a panel of European doctors decide whether or not it's more costly to treat your illness or whether you should just be written off, which is also why health insurance exists in Europe, so that you can become terminally ill. And when the public healthcare sector decides that they're not going to keep funding you because you're a terminal case, you're a waste of tax dollars, you will not have a return on investment. They're going to take the money that would go into treating your terminal illness and they're going to spread it out to treat society. But if you have health insurance, then you can use your own health insurance to treat your terminal illness. How is that actually better than what we have in the United States?
Yeah. That's a good question. And I've been, after researching it, it's like I'm kind of fond for the universal healthcare until I hear all that. And I'm like, oh, it's horrible. It is ridiculously horrible. I'd just rather pay for the insurance. You know, Bill?
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'm drawing a blank on it. It is a curve. It is a graph. What was Obama's health? No, that was Kathleen Sebelius, wasn't it?
Well, while you find that out, Bill.
Yeah. Keep going while I look for that.
That's the general idea, Bill.
Do what?
Nothing. That's what the sad truth of it. That's the sad truth, Bill. Stop pressing buttons.
Whoa.
If you have to, just move the mic away. But that's the sad truth of it. If they feel that you shouldn't have, there's really bad cons on it. If they feel that you are terminally ill, then they're not going to pay for it. I found out through some sources that are in Canada, especially with their MAID. This is an assisted. I'm trying to, because we're on YouTube. It's a assisted healthy write-off. There we go. That's the best way I can say it. Basically, they help you pass on to the other side. And then
they make you no longer responsive.
Yeah.
Okay. No longer responsive.
There's some countries that have universal health care that are doing that. That's their plan. I mean, if you're depressed or you just don't want to help out with society, and I'm not talking like, you don't want to help out with, you can't help out with society. They help you get to a different location. So, yeah. And what's really funny though is the overseas medication is actually cheaper over there, like in Canada and everything. And we don't have that option to get those kind of medicines here a lot of the times. There was this funny video, Good Drug Dealer. And the person was acting out. It's like, hey, I like to buy some illegal drugs. Oh, okay, yeah. I sell illegal drugs. And she's like, my friend told me you're a good drug dealer, though. Can I get some marijuana? And she was like, I don't sell that. Well, do you have like LSD? I don't sell that. Oh, okay. Do you need some insulin? Do you need an EpiPen? Do you need like those AIDS drugs. Oh, you're an actual good. You go across the board. It's that whole Dallas Buyers Club, and it was making fun of it, and I was like, "That's not funny." In all reality, people are dependent on some of these drugs, and we can't. We blame the pharmaceutical companies because they're overpricing it. And they're overpricing it because they're getting subsidiaries from the government. So they're jacking up the prices because the insurance are able to pay for that in a upscale. Dude, it was really bad because I had like a cold, just a common cold. Okay. And they're like, hey, here's some Metamucil for your chest, but you're gonna have to pay for the nasal spray. I was like, I got nasal spray? She's like, yeah. Well, how much is the nasal spray? I'll go buy the nasal spray. You might want to just go pick it up yourself. It's the same stuff. I was like, how much is the nasal spray? $85. $85 for nasal spray. You know how much nasal spray is? $5. They jumped it up $80 because I was getting it from I was getting it over the counter. $85 for nasal spray. And it was literally Afrin. It was just a push tube. It was nothing fancy. It was just so ridiculous. You
Yeah,
got Go ahead, Bill.
I found what I was looking for. It was what some people Obamacare was kind of behind the scenes basing some things on to try to actually make it viable. It was Ezekiel Manuel and Rahm Emanuel's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a system that he created called the Complete Lives System. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
It was a curve, a bell-shaped curve. And what it did was it showed kids too young to contribute to the society. So 0 to 10, weren't as much of a priority for healthcare if they had a problem. Your main healthcare should be focused on, 15 to 40 is your prime productive years. Then it starts going down 40 to 50. It starts dropping. So you're less of a priority for healthcare. And 70 to 80, the curve visually implied that you were less worthy of intervention. So basically, Obamacare was based on, if you're real old, yeah, kind of what they're doing in Canada right now. If you're too old, hey, do you want to off yourself? Or, and they're doing it up there for even if someone has a mental illness and they don't think they can continue on with society, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the MAID. That's MAID.
Yeah.
MAID. I don't know what it's. You know what? Let's look this up. We have the internet. Come on.
Mhm.
What is MAID stand for Canada's healthcare? Okay. Medical assisted in dying. They just put it out there. Wow. You're eligible for this is the eligibility for that. Being at least 18 years of age, be eligible for publicly funded healthcare services in Canada, be able to make decisions about your health, have a grievous or irreversible medical condition, have enduring physical or psychological suffering that is intolerable and can't be relieved. Your natural death must be reasonable, foreseeable. Okay. The physician or nurse practitioner directs the administrators a substance that causes of death. A physician or nurse practitioner provides a prescription, a drug that is eligible person takes themselves. Strict eligibility criteria and safeguards are in place to protect vulnerable individuals. But if you have a mental illness, which it states here, having enduring physical or psychological suffering, and you're constantly depressed, they'll help you out. That's great, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah. Did you see the press conference on prescription drugs?
I saw. Yes.
Awesome press conference. He's covering. Well, okay. I think did Trump actually call it fat drugs?
I don't think so. No, he said the Ozempic.
Do I? Well, they were talking about several. They talked about Wegovy was one of them. The GLP-1 drugs, and give you an example of that. We went. My wife is getting on one of them, and very recent example. And the out of pocket cost $1,589. Now, through his new prescription drug program, I took notes on it. One of them, he had Wegovy and Zepbound, and one of them is $13.50 a month, and they're getting the price down to $250 a month. That's just out of pocket with no insurance. Wegovy or Zepbound, one of them's $1,080. He's getting it down to $340. Now, the big thing about it is, okay, with ours, it was going to be $1,589. Supposedly, the insurance wasn't going to cover it. They have a prescription card. Everything does. You can sign up online. A side example, I take Monjuro, and it was going to cost my sister several $1,000s for 3 months. I get it for $25. Part of that is it would be $170, but there's a free prescription card. Always go to the manufacturer's website that made it $25. So hers would, if the insurance covered it, it was going to be $170. But since the insurance wasn't going to cover it, with their discount, it was going to be over $1,200. Turns out, little thing in the insurance, if she signs up for a weight loss doctor to a health doctor for weight loss, then it becomes covered. So then it would be $170. But that free coupon on Wegovy's manufacturer's website made it zero.
Really?
Zero cost. Now, the big thing with my sister is she can't get it because if you look at those coupons in the fine print, Medicaid, Medicare, and government plans not covered. The coupon won't apply.
Really?
So, and Medicare, Medicaid doesn't cover it. So what he announced is these drugs will now be covered through Medicare and Medicaid with as little as $50 copay.
Oh,
and
nice.
that's what he announced. So I watched the whole thing. Yes, I watched the guy pass out, watched him cut away, and then waited until it came back. There was quite a delay. So he had a neat press conference, but there was a break in the middle because if you were watching it live, one of the pharmaceutical representatives passed out.
Really?
He dropped behind him. Dr. Oz runs over. And the thing is, all these nations around the world they brag about the cheap cost of drugs where they might pay $10 for something that we pay $1,000 for.
Yeah.
Trump's been pissed about that. So he said, no, that should be evened out. So through tariffs, saying, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. He worked with the drug companies and he got the prices down for everyone. Now, the phony crap that Biden was doing was, well, we're going to negotiate for Medicare and Medicaid to get the price down, not for everyone, for them. And we're going to do it in a chunk of 10 drugs at a time. So 2 or 3 years later, okay, we're starting on the first 10. And the first pill they negotiated the cheap rate on was one that I was getting for diabetes for $5 a month.
Oh,
and that's
really?
what they supposedly save money. We're saving money. No, Trump is really saving money. Now they're like, oh, he just went into the weight loss. He mentioned other diabetic drugs. What the hell is he going to do in a 30-minute press conference? Go into the entire formulary?
Yeah.
No, there's going to be a lot of medications. And did you there was, if you go to the website, the White House website, there is a link on it to Trump RX, which I think goes live in January, and that is where they will have all of these prescription drugs. Now, people say there's things like what is that for her, that I think that's what it was called. I just looked it up a few minutes ago. For hers weight loss, and it's a kind of a different compounded, supposedly like the shots, but it's not even FDA approved. So when people say, oh, I'm getting this, you want to stay away from the cheap crap that they're saying we're getting that, because the real stuff is expensive until he drops the price down. And one of the things he's done with the prescription drugs, or with the healthcare system, the pharmaceuticals, is he's got them building factories over here instead of China, where we're dependent. One of the biggest ones is in Houston, and the factory is going to be basically built with AI as a focus in it, and they're thinking they can come up with cancer. A cure for cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, fairly quick after it goes online. They said they're going to be cranking out new medicines to help people. Now, okay, the big thing that RFK Jr. has been jumping on is weight loss. Weight loss is the reason we have these healthcare problems. So if we can get our weight down, then the overall price of insurance will drop.
Yeah.
And let's see, did I get it?
Another thing would be go out and exercise a little bit.
Okay. One of them said one thing. Another executive said that they expect 135 billion pounds will be lost by the midterms.
That's stretching, but
well, I think the original one was, I think 20 billion pounds, which I think is doable if a lot of people get on these things.
Yeah.
They get it down, and the overall cost of our healthcare will drop. And that's one of the ways you can make healthcare affordable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Bill. I got one last thing. This is what you were talking about earlier with the what was it? That is who now?
Viktor Orban.
Okay. Go ahead and play this.
It's good to see you, President, back to the White House. And good to be back after 6 years, anyway, again, to see you here.
Yeah.
As we have met last time. The reason why we are here to open a new chapter between the bilateral relation of the United States and Hungary, basically because during the Democrat administration, everything was ruined. So after your leaving president, everything was basically blocked, ruined, cancelled, a lot of harm done by the previous administration. In the last 10 months, President, what you have done, we are very much grateful for that. You restored the old level of the relationship. You improved the bilateral relation. You repair what was done badly by the previous administration. So now we are in quite a good position to open up a new chapter, let's say a golden age between United States and Hungary, and we have plenty of suggestions for today: economic cooperation, military cooperation, and political cooperation. And the main issue, probably, President, we are neighboring Ukraine, which is in war. It's the most important issue for us, and we would like to discuss with you how we can contribute to help you in your peace efforts.
So yeah. There we go.
Orban, before he came, I'll just read one sentence from this. He made a big X post on the new opportunities emerging, kind of what he said there. And he also said the political motivated sanctions have disappeared. American funding for NGOs attacking Hungary has ended. Our U.S. aid was funding the people who were against the conservatives in Eastern Europe. So what happens? This sorry piece of shit bastard came out with a video October 11th. And in this, he says, I recently sat down with the 3 leaders who are part of the Obama Foundation's alumni network to hear more about their work to strengthen democracy in Hungary and Poland. So he is going after the few countries that are actually free countries, and they keep their borders closed.
Nice.
And here's one of the reasons. Here's one of the reasons they want them stopped. The EU is actually trying to change some of their rules. It's kind of like expanding the Supreme Court. It's kind of like that. Hungary just blocked EU's security guarantee for Ukraine and new military aid. All it takes is one vote against something in the EU, and it blocks what they're trying to do.
Really?
And they, about 6 months ago, there was somehow that they overrode, that's going against their own charter. They overrode Hungary on the vote and went ahead and did it anyway. And it was some other funding to Ukraine. And everyone was like, whoa, wait a minute. But keeping the EU together is the biggest goal of the World Economic Forum. And Hungary and Poland doing his thing, Obama is directly tied into that garbage. And him putting out that, oh man, I was a bit ticked when I watched that video that Obama put out. October 11th, he put out that specifically saying they were going after conservatives in Hungary and Poland. Trying to get liberals elected. He's going to try to get them out.
All right, Bill, this last couple of minutes, what else you got for us?
Well, we had the elections Tuesday, and everyone freaked out. Everyone freaked out because, some people in blue states won. Yeah, they shifted a lot of females over. My whole election analysis was women are stupid. Now, there's a couple of things that's going to happen after the first of the year. They're going to be, let me play this short clip from O'Reilly. Everyone was freaking out. My wife was, I was out of town getting a medical thing, and she's and she's all freaking out. And this is what he's.
To the No Spin News, November 4th, 2025, Election Day. Stand up for your country. Those who are voting today are standing up for their country. It's pretty easy. My polling place out on Long Island, pretty quiet. We're not involved directly with the New York City vote. I understand it was bedlam in the city. Maybe it's not going to break a record for mayoral turnout, but it's going to be more than the recent past, that's for sure. And we'll get into that a little bit because of the communist aspect to it, which is engaging the whole country. Now, tomorrow we'll analyze the results. There's not a lot And it's not going to be a big lookout. You'll get that phony stuff on cable TV news. Oh, this is a harbinger of the midterms. That's a bunch of BS, because so many things are going to change in the next 11 months. It's going to be guaranteed to be startling, because President Trump is moving so quickly on so many fronts, and the courts have to issue rulings. And we're going to get into the most important ruling on the tariffs in the Talking Points memo.
Now, Americans are looking to actually see something, see some results. And Scott Bessent, he came out and said, hey, look, here's something Americans are going to see right after the first of the year. Okay. They got in the big, beautiful bill, tax cut. Yeah. Not for just the rich. That's a bunch of bullshit. But he got the tax cut. Your W-2 still has money withdrawn based on the current tax rate. So what's that going to do? When you file taxes and your taxes you file are based on the lower rate, people are going to get a bigger check back, a refund check.
Yeah.
Then their W-2s will drop to that current tax rate, so they'll get a larger amount of pay in their paychecks. So that's the kind of things that Americans are going to be looking at going, hey, wait a minute, good things are happening. So while you got this one election where some liberals won, some liberal states, don't freak out. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of stuff that's going to be happening. We just got to get over this shutdown. They kept the shutdown for the election, and now they feel emboldened. So we were expecting them to open it up, but now they feel emboldened, and they're like, no, we're not going to. And that's why, okay, Ron Johnson.
Agree. What do you make of blowing up the filibuster?
I've always been a big supporter of the filibuster. It has stopped America from going down a socialist path for decades. But the president is right, and I told him, at this point in time, he's 100% correct. The Democrats purged the last two senators who held out and supported the filibuster. So we know they have no respect for the filibuster. I don't think there will be a Democrat Senate candidate running for office that won't pledge to, again, end the filibuster. So we need to strike first. Now, when the Democrats eliminate the filibuster, it'll all be about their maintenance of power, as the president laid out there. It'll be more senators packing the Supreme Court. It'll all be about their acquisition and maintenance of power. If we're to do it, it will be for the benefit of the American people. We'll further secure our border. We'll secure our elections. I would love to sit down with Democrats to repair the damage done by Obamacare and transition to a system that actually works, rather than continue to throw hundreds of billions of dollars at a completely failed system. We're having a hearing today in my committee on assessing the damage of Obamacare. If Democrats would actually acknowledge that, admit what a miserable failure Obamacare is, we could fix that for the American public. So again, I hate the fact that Democrats are going to blow up the filibuster, but they will. We have to acknowledge that awful reality, and I think we probably need to act first.
Yeah.
Do it. And I've always been against doing it, but from what I've read, from the more I watch them, and you've got the radical communists taking over the Democrat Party, they'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So, you got anything else, Bill?
Yeah, one last video. It's a short video that Chip Roy, you like Chip Roy.
I don't know who Chip Roy is.
In Texas, we've got to double down. If there is no Texas,
is he a circle?
The
Bill?
country completely falls apart.
It looks
and
like he's a circle.
And people need to know it. The Muslim Brotherhood in London and in Paris, they recognize that
this
Dallas,
is one of your
particular,
videos, isn't
Texas is the epicenter of what they're trying to do for the Islamification of not just Texas, not just America, but the Western Hemisphere.
Big time.
They're planting the seeds here, and we've got to rip those seeds up and get them out of Texas.
If Texas falls, the country falls. That's what he's saying. And right now, the Islamists are focusing on Texas.
Yeah. That's I have some people that are batting for them, and I've seen some people batting against them. I'm for people that come into our country and the stuff that you need to bring from your country, food, your style of food, if I like it or not, my choice. If I like it, I'll have a conversation and everything. But your politics and your beliefs that destroyed your fucking country, and that's the reason why you have to get out of there. Some of them refugees, war-torn environments, some of them exiled. And they want to well, we're allowed to do this in our country. We're going to start, implementing this. So we have that. No, you don't get that. We don't want we already have, in my opinion, we already have war-torn environments in our country. South Chicago, parts of LA, even in North Carolina. I was talking to Tansy about his beat of all the shootings that he had to deal with, all the Jump Out Boys stuff that he had to do. It was ridiculous. And that was in Ryle, North Carolina. That was his beat. And he had the heartbeat. If there's parts of Wichita Falls that are kind of like that, yeah. But do I wish I could say it's contained? I don't like to say contained. That means we built a wall around it and we just forgot about it. No, we need to help these people, one, get jobs so they can provide for their family. We need them to living in cities, and I'll say this, and yeah, I'm like rambling on topics, and I'm sorry for that. But in all reality, we're people of the land. And this is everybody. A city is still new to us. Big cities still new to us. We had the Secret of Nim. It's a cartoon by Disney about rats and everything. Well, the Nim thing was actually an actual study of rats. And they did a study of kind of like cityscape. Having a utopia, all the rats died. Having the rats do whatever they want, it was just chaos. And that's what cities are. They're chaos. We need to spread out these cities a little bit further, so it's manageable.
The issue is, though, if you listen to that, it isn't Muslim Islam, it's Sharia law.
Yeah.
That's what they're bringing, Sharia law.
Mm-hmm.
There are 55 Muslim nations.
And they're also bringing communism.
None of the 55 Muslim nations will take these refugees. Why? Yeah. I couldn't play it. I had a video I wanted to play, and it was on the idiot election in New York. And it was a bunch of girls yelling, Sharia law, baby! We getting Sharia law! Well, fine. Let me give you a link to your burqa. They have no clue. They have no clue. Women in New York are morons.
They're just cattle or sheep. They're sheeple.
They get drawn into social media.
Here's a fun fact, everybody. And if you watch this, or I make a clip of it and I posted it up, here's a fun fact about Sharia law. Okay. Women are property. And they're usually less than the actual goats. And just recently, I'm talking about, I think 4 or 5 years, not even that. I think it was back in 2019. 2019. Guess what in Saudi Arabia, women got the rights to do? they could drive without their husband or a man in the vehicle. The women aren't even allowed to be out in public without their man in certain countries. Of course, in those countries, I wouldn't want to be without, some protection, because apparently they're a little bit grapes happening in that culture a lot. So, anyways, Bill, you got anything else for us?
I can't find it real quick. Did you see the new New York Mondani? It was a Lego set.
Did it blow up?
No, it had two Islamic guys and a guy with a rainbow shirt outfit, and they were throwing him off a building.
Anyways,
that popped up on X. I was just looking for it. I couldn't find it.
Anyways, let me pull up one thing, because next week, and we'll probably say this again next week. Next week is the Marines' 250th anniversary. And also Tuesday will be Veterans Day. So go out if you're down your luck and you're a veteran, you want to get some free food. That's the day you get free food. Chili's, Applebee's, Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden. There's other places that give you a discount and everything. They give you free food. Well, I'll be partaking. I have Tuesdays off now, so I'm not doing
Tuesdays off.
I'm not doing the wrestling podcast anymore. So
why not?
It was a hassle for everybody.
Oh, and for a local thing, I saw a lady in Sam's a little while ago, and she was loading up a shit ton of hot dog buns. Mm-hmm. And they are doing at Atwood's tomorrow to support the firefighters, one of the hot dog cookouts. So if you want to support the firefighters, it's cheap hot dogs. I think they do
it at Atwood's, don't they? Huh? Yeah, they do it at Atwood's.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I said, "Where are you going to do it?" She had her Atwood shirt on, and she was like, "Atwood's." It's like,
me and Dad's, we've gone by there every time they've done it. Dude, it is like super cheap. It's like $2 for 2 hot dogs, a soda, and some chips.
Yeah, I think she said 50 cents each or something.
Yeah, it's super cheap, dude. Super cheap. I gave them like $5. Like,
you bring some extra. They did that in Arlington when I lived down there for the firefighters, and it was hot dog and a drink for 25 cents.
God, it's so cheap.
I ate 9.
Give more, be a better person. But anyways, for the Marines 250th anniversary, we got a little bit of a thing. This is just showboating of the Marine Corps.
Over 250 years, we've had many names. Leatherneck, Jarhead, Jairi, the Standard. But there's one name bestowed by our enemies. It depicts an indomitable fighting spirit. That we're ready at any time to go anywhere for anything our nation needs from us, with only one objective: to win. The name is a warning across time to anyone who stands against us, so they're not mistaken when they encounter a devil dog.
I thought that was interesting.
And one last note on Veterans Day that is not necessarily a positive note. I just saw it right before we went live. Portland is not going to do a Veterans Day parade. Piece of shit.
Yeah, they are. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Wild William.
Thank you all for watching and jumping in for a little bit and seeing what we're doing. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Later. Bye.